Yeah, so today what's in my heart to teach is some insight into scripture that God gave me when I was in prison. Matthew 27. I'll start at 11. And Jesus stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, saying, Are you the king of the Jews? And Jesus said unto him, You say so. And when he was accused of the chief priests and elders, he answered nothing. Then Pilate said unto him, Hear you not how many things they witness against you? And he answered him never a word, insomuch that he, the governor, marveled greatly. Now at the feast the governor was desiring to release unto the people a prisoner whom they would have. They had then a notable prisoner called Barabbas. Therefore when they were gathered together, Pilate said unto them, Whom will ye that I release unto you, Barabbas, or Jesus, which is called Christ? For he knew that for envy they had delivered him. When he was set down on the judgment seat, his wife sent unto him, saying, Have you nothing to do with that just man? For I have suffered many things this day in a dream because of him. But the chief priests and elders persuaded the multitude that they should ask for Barabbas and destroy Jesus. The governor answered and said unto them, Which of the two will you that I release unto you? They said, Barabbas. Pilate said unto them, What shall I do then with Jesus, which is called Christ? They all said unto him, Let him be crucified. And the governor said, Why? What evil have he done? But they cried out the more, saying, Let him be crucified. I'll continue. That's verse 24. When Pilate saw that he could prevail nothing, but that rather atonement was made, he took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this just person. See you to it. Then answered all the people, and said, His blood be on us and our children. Then released he Barabbas unto them, and when he had scourged Jesus, he delivered him to be crucified. So I read from verse 11 to 26. And I remember reading this when I was in prison, and God just spoke to me about something that I want to teach on. And the thing is, in verse 15, it said that the governor wanted to release a prisoner and asked the people who they would have be released. And we know that the people were inspired to say release Barabbas, which is significant because when you think about it spiritually, we both have a Barabbas. Well, here, God spoke to me personally about how while I was in prison and becoming a Christian, how people wanted me to release Barabbas. Every day my life was on trial, you see, and the question was asked, who do you want me to release, Barabbas or Christ in me, figuratively speaking? And of course the people would cheer for and be inspired and persuaded, like in verse 20, to tell me to release Barabbas. Everybody wanted to know how I got to prison and forget the light. But everybody wanted me to be a convict, to continue to do the things I did, got in prison to steal, kill, and destroy. And daily I had to make a choice of who I would release. Again, Barabbas, which represents the fleshly nature, or Jesus, which represents the spiritual nature. Again, Christ in us. And so that was the choices we had to make. And I'm sure I'm not the only one, but because that's what it is, as God showed me. Like, again, Barabbas represents the flesh and Christ represents the spirit. And every day our lives are on trial. And we have to answer the question, who will we release? Barabbas, which is our fleshly nature, or Jesus, which is Christ in us? And we know that the fleshly people will ask for us to constantly release Barabbas to them. And so just remember, after Barabbas was released, I'm sure he joined the crowd and yelled, "Crucify Jesus." So people want us to release Barabbas, to be part of the crowd, to tell other people to release Barabbas, but also to be amongst the crowd that yells, "Crucify Christ." Because we know that's what the crowd did. They yelled, "Crucify Christ," when Pilate asked, "What shall I do with Christ?" And that's what people asking us. If we choose to release Barabbas, we have to answer the question, what shall we do with Christ in us? And the people going to tell us pretty much, crucify him. It's no different when they call me a jailhouse Christian and other things and said I was phony and fake. That was their way of telling me to crucify Christ in me. So the encouragement and the motivation is every day think about, who will you release to the people? Who will you show the people? Who will you allow to be free? Because that's what release is. I was released from prison to, in a sense, be free. Freer than I was on the inside. And so that is the question. In verse 17, Pilate said unto them, "Whom will you that I release unto you, Barabbas or Jesus, which is called Christ?"